Howdy archery fans. I'm trying out a device that I've had for more than 10 years. I bought it because I shot a turkey, put two arrows, one passed through, one stuck in, and I never recovered the turkey. It took off and didn't have a blood trail, and I did not recover. But this is called an Eastman Outfitters String Tracker, model 2500. So the idea is that you attach this to your bow. This lightweight string attaches to your arrow, and if you have an arrow pass through or stick into your game, the string will pull out and lead you to the animal. It's supposed to have minimal effect out to 30 yards, but 10 years ago bows were not as fast as they are now, and I think this is actually made probably more like 15 years ago. So I'm going to give it a shot at 20 yards, practice shot, just to see if there's any noticeable effect. So I'm going to attach it to my Bear Arena 30, and this is shooting about 280 feet per second with a 380 grain arrow. 60-pound limbs. I haven't backed off a turn, so it's probably about 57 pounds or 55 maybe, I don't know, something like that. So we're going to attach this to the stabilizer bushing, like so. It has what they call a corker in it to keep the string from coming out and unraveling. So we remove the corker. Let's see. They have a little round cutout. I think that's so you can secure the corker to your shaft here so that it doesn't interfere with shooting. Yeah, that looks good. Here's the string. It's a thin, looks like a poly string. It's supposed to be like 17-pound cast, something like that. They do recommend pulling out about 20 feet first, just before you shoot it the first time. I'll just pull it out until it feels like it's not binding anymore. I don't want to waste it. Yeah, I'm terrible for following directions. I always think I have a different, better way. Ask my wife. Alright, let's try that. Alright, so now, hang this here. So they recommend attaching it, at the tip between the broadhead and the insert. And I'm just going to shoot it with a field point today. So let's say we'll wrap it around there a couple times. And tighten down my field point. There we go. Okay, I'll snip off the extra. So I got, I don't know, maybe 10 feet extra, something like that I cut off. So that's what that looks like now. And it comes out of the center of the spool. It's And they say you can do about 5 practice shots at 20 yards. After that, it's not designed for shooting, but the rest of that line is for tracking. So I think it's mainly kind of a one-time deal, you know, which would be fine because I shot that turkey in the national forest, and you know, I hunted those guys they're pretty elusive. I hunted them for about 4 years and finally shot one, called one in and shot one, and then I didn't recover it. So if I'd had this on there, and that would have made the difference, that would have been wonderful. So as it was, that was the last year that they offered a spring turkey season in the Sam Houston National Forest, and I think that was maybe 2006. So yeah, I bought this after that, so I know it's over 10 years old. It's probably 13, 14 years old, I guess. All right, so that's what that looks like. So I'm gonna go over here and shoot the 20 yard, which is right there, and we'll see how it does. So I'm gonna aim for the orange dot. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Can't zoom, okay. So I'm gonna shoot the orange dot, aim for the orange dot, and then we'll come back and walk up and see how I did. Hopefully this thing doesn't blow up in my face or something. There we go. Actually broke the string. So I was worried about that. So maybe because it's old, or maybe because I didn't pull out enough. But it did actually break the string. Or maybe because my bow is faster than they were designed for. But we'll give it the chance that maybe I hadn't pulled out enough, and we'll try shooting it again. Okay, that last shot, the string had got wrapped around my finger. I felt it pull my finger at the shot. So it only pulled out about 4 or 5 feet and broke. And I know that's because it caught my hand. So we're going to try it again. See if I can be mindful of my hand position and avoid that. So here goes. Curling my hand, my fingers around, rather than leaving them open, so that there's nothing for the string grip, hopefully. Okay. So it didn't break. That string makes a lot of noise coming out, so I don't like that too well. Let's go look and see where the shot ended up. So I'm about 3 or 4 inches right. Up and down wasn't too bad. So it's possible I torqued the bow because I was curling my hands around, but I don't really think so. The string made a lot of noise coming out of the bow. Kind of reminded me of the sound if you have a loose fletching, when you shoot an arrow with a loose fletching, but it was louder than that even. So I think it probably put a fair amount of drag on the arrow, and also the noise could be a factor also. So I don't think I'm going to use it. Maybe it's too old and the string is deteriorated a little, and maybe that's why it's coming out with more resistance, or maybe it's just not designed for, this bow was rated at 345 IBO, even though I'm only shooting about 280 with my hunting arrows. I think bows 15 years ago were maybe 30, 40 feet per second less, so that could be something to do with it. But anyways, so that's the Eastman String Tracker 2500. Don't know if they even make it anymore, but I figured I'd do a review since I wanted to try it out. Thanks. Dennis out.